What's going on, people? It's Malik Washington. How you all doing this fine day or evening? I hope all is well with you all and that you're succeeding in whatever it is that you're attempting to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to dive right on into the topic today. Today, we're going to talk about this story that just recently developed and came out regarding this black girl, young black teen, I should say, by the name of Piper Lewis, right? Maybe some of you just heard about it if you're watching from Texas or Houston, or if you watch Fox 26 or anything like that of that nature. But I just came across it because it was something that was recommended to me through YouTube recommendations, and I just so happened to see it. And it's just sad what just recently developed because this young girl was put in an involuntary dire situation. As many of you know or have heard of the concept of human trafficking. Human trafficking is damn near the equivalent of slavery, being subjugated to a position of inferiority by a group or network of people, men or women in difference, who have gathered together and have found, you could say, a business idea in trafficking or selling human beings as slaves or to bondage, right? As some form of currency or a way to monetize uh, people into doing certain services for them. Human trafficking is not obviously it's not a new concept. There's nothing new under the sun, as humans have human trafficked people for years going unto biblical times. Joseph was one of the people who in fact was sent into oppression by his own brothers, the Judah and the rest, because they were jealous of the fact that Isaac actually favored Joseph above the rest of them. And as a result of that, by by Joseph having been spoiled and given a new regalia or robe that Isaac had made for him, the brothers got together. They decided to sell him to the Assyrians, and pretty much the Assyrians sold Joseph to Potiphar, who was the alleged pharaoh at that time. Obviously, Joseph goes through many trials and tribulations, and he eventually he becomes vizier of Egypt. But I use that story to say that human trafficking has been around since that epic, right? And women and men and children is unfortunately get caught up in these situations where they become targets or contracts for certain people to be kidnapped and taken into very unfamiliar and very sinister territories that they've never been in, these black sites. And just a network of people out here who look like you and me that go around and they sell people. Some of them are your family members. You would never know. They'd never tell you. But yes, there are people among you who will sell you into slavery. And just like I said in the previous video, not just white people can enslave you. Anybody can enslave you and control you, and they know how to do it. This young lady, unfortunately, was put in a position where she ran away from home because her adoptive mother was abusing her. Now, I wish they would have gave a little bit more information in regards to that. What type of abuse was she enduring to the point that she ran home? Not that it's any grounds to justify why she was put in a human trafficking situation, but nonetheless, it would be important to the story because then we can see where her mindset was at when she was a teenager. But apparently she ran away from home because she was abused. She lived in an apartment hall building, and some guy by the name of Zachary Brooks took her in, and he basically took care of her for a little while. But as he was also taking care of her, he also prostituted her to other men. Or as she said, he human trafficked her to other men. And basically, she was raped multiple times by them, including him, especially, who was to be her stepfather. Now, at the age this happened at the age of 15, and finally she decided in her mind, because she was in an involuntary situation, she decided to stab him and kill him over 30 times. And when I say kill over 30 times, meaning she stabbed him a multiple of 30 times or more, right? Now, naturally, the courts obviously, put her in for due process because she did murder someone, or she killed someone because she was put in a very dire situation as a result of being raped. And the court decided to give her 20 years to life, right? For killing someone, for involuntary manslaughter and willful injury, I believe the charges were. Both of those were like 10 years each. As a result, she was given that, with an addition to having to pay $150,000 in restitution to Zachary Brooks' family for killing him, because the defense claims that she was not in any immediate danger, as they quoted, because Zachary Brooks was asleep. He did not try to do any particular harm to the girl in those moments. And as a result of that, she shouldn't have killed him under those grounds. But in her mind, she was thinking that I am in a situation that I cannot seemingly get out of, as far as the story that she told. And she thought in her mind, I just need to survive and I need to fight this man. So as a result, now she has to pay $150,000 in restitution, of which that will be paid for by her working 200 hours total of community service, right? So she's going to work her way through this. At least that's what they're saying. I believe her attorneys want to appeal the decision because they don't think that it's right for her to have to pay $150,000 for a man that literally raped and abused her, right? Now, someone created a GoFundMe for this girl, obviously. And initially, they had $4,000 in donations. Over time, over the course of days, actually, they ended up getting to 100,000. And then eventually the guy was so overwhelmed with emotion, he decided to take it up the goal a little further. They actually were able to give her more than $150,000. They raised over $350,000. So in total, it's like around $400,000 or better they raised. As a result, this girl can now, pretty much she can pay it off if it's legal and viable to be able to take donated money and pay restitution for a crime that the Iowa law has indicted, right? So this situation is pretty much, and excuse the dog outside, but this situation pretty much goes to show how screwed up our system really is, to be honest with you. And I'm not one that's against systems. I'm not one that believes in completely having a lawless society to where you have a bunch of people running around doing what they want to do. It's good to have a system so that it maintains some semblance of order. Seems like in the times we live in today, a lot of people want to live in a society without a system because a lot of people don't think that the system is fair to them. But that could be said for anybody. We all don't like decisions that are made to us by other human judges. Many of us want God to judge us the correct and fair way. But even some of us may think even his laws or his understanding of things is wrong as well. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But the system should consider your situation properly, and they should judge it fairly, right? Now, obviously, it was already written in law that these are things that you just simply cannot do. A crime is a crime. If you do the crime, you got to do the time. Understandably so. Here's where my problem lies, right? I don't agree with the law that says that a person should have to pay restitution to someone that was physically abusing them. This young lady, irregardless of the fact that she ran home and irregardless of the fact that she had an abusive mother, should not have been taken in by a random guy who just swooped in and he starts prostituting her to everybody. Specifically, when I say everybody, I'm referring to the men. It's absolutely ludicrous to be subjected to that situation. And then after being there for so long and being raped multiple times, there's nothing you can do about it. And you're a teenager. You really can't, you haven't developed all your strength yet. You're not even up to the adult age. And yet you're being raped as a minor. When you're put in those situations, I don't think one would say in their right mind in those moments that I'm going to give my rapist a chance simply because this is a human being just like me. This man is a predator. He's doing me harm. I'm in a situation I cannot seemingly escape. So I have to fight back. Now, I know y'all listening to this video probably looking like, I can't believe he's actually defending a black woman. Listen, right is right, wrong is wrong. I will defend anybody, whether they're black or white, in difference. I love black people because I grew up around them. Whether if you may want to accept, believe, like it or not, I want black people to win just like I want anyone else in this world to win. What I grow tired of is that we constantly complain about racism and white supremacy and all these different things, and yet black people have so much potential to do what anyone else has the capacity to do. All it takes is just you getting up off your ass, finding the resources and the opportunities to do the best that you can do in this life and become something. Because you may not get this ever again. Your grandchildren may not get this ever again. And to sit around and constantly complain about how white people are oppressing you is not going to get you what you want. Some people are using racism and oppression as a means to make money off of the emotionalisms of black people's struggles on a day-to-day basis. But if black people themselves are not, if they don't have enough impulse control to be able to tell themselves that I am not going to allow the color of my skin to dictate whether if I can succeed in America or not, it's just going to keep putting us in this pool, this cesspool of, I'm inferior and I'm not good at anything. And no matter what I do, the other side is always going to beat me. No, fuck that bullshit. No, enough. We can do whatever it is we want to do if we try. I don't give a damn about a racist white person. I don't give a damn about a racist Latina, a Mexican, a Russian, a Chinese, a African. I don't give a damn about none of y'all that are hateful as fuck. The point is of it all, any of us, whether if you're conservative or liberal, you can put your mind to anything that you want to do. So that's my whole thing. I will defend anybody. I defend the truth. I defend what is true. I don't defend people. I defend the truth. And if they just so happen to be living in the truth, that's what I defend. That's who I defend. I don't defend everybody because everybody is not truthful and everybody does not live truthful lives. But if I look at the situation for what it is and assess that, that's what I'm looking at. And I'm not saying that I'm always going to be right in every single judgment that I make. But damn it, if I believe that you're doing the right thing, I'm going to defend you for the right thing. I'm not going to go radically left, and I'm certainly not going to go radically right. I'm going to be just enough in the middle to be able to say, I think you're right for these particular reasons, but here's where I also think you went left or where you were wrong at. Plain and simple. Piper Lewis deserves to, yes, she may need a few years because, again, a crime is a crime. I understand that objectively speaking. Subjectively speaking, I don't think she should have to pay restitution or $150K to an abuser. Who in their right mind is going to give mercy to someone who's being a predator, who's doing them wrong, who's harming their bodies, who puts them in a situation they can't get out of, who damn near may end up killing you if they feel like you're worthless? If I'm in slavery and the master is constantly whooping my ass and I can't get out of the situation, and the master is eventually thinking, I'm going to get rid of this nigga because, sorry for YouTube, I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to get rid of this Negro because clearly he ain't doing what I need him to do. He's useless, or maybe I am doing everything he needs me to do and he want to get rid of me anyway. If you're constantly whipping me, at some point I got to fight back. Irregardless to what the law may say in America, there may be consequences. And I might be in a situation I cannot get out of, but God damn it, I'd rather live and go to jail for defending myself as opposed to having to lay down on my knees and let this man kill me. I'm not going to do that. No, sorry. Me and you, guess what? Because if I'm going to lose, if I'm going to die, you're going with me and I'm going to make it hell for you. before I end up going to my grave, because we both meeting Jesus tonight. Both of us. I'm not going down just by myself. You going with me too. I don't know what you thought this was. I didn't think you thought I was a rag doll for your pleasure, for your say sadistic nature. I ain't got time for that. So the same thing with this situation is she was put in a situation that she could not control. She's a minor. She's 15 years old. She's getting raped. What the hell else was she supposed to do? She was supposed to stand idly by and let him rape her and just keep doing it over and over and over and over again until she's finally broken. And then eventually when he's done with her and those men are done with her, or if she doesn't do the right thing, they end up killing her and then throwing her in the streets like trash. You all would prefer that, wouldn't you? I bet. And I guarantee you that criminal, he's barely going to get anything for it. Already in the state of Illinois, we have something called the Safety Act, where literally people who have committed crimes, career criminals who have committed repeated offenses of like aggravated assault, battery, DUI, a second degree murder, kidnapping, all those different things, they can now officially get out without having to pay cash bail. So literally, they don't have to sit in jail. They don't have to go to jail. They can literally let them go. They don't have to pay cash bail. They don't have to do none of that. Usually cash bail would deter one from wanting to commit crimes because it costs too much goddamn money to be spending 20 to 30 years of life in jail going around destroying people's lives and being chaotic. Most of the time they make people say, I don't want to be in this. I don't want to do this shit. That's too much goddamn money. $150,000? 200, 500,000, whatever it is that the courts indict these people these days. But you can't even do that now. And these career criminals, about 400 of them are going to be released effective January 1st of 2023. So now the criminals are going to go back out here. It's about to be the Gotham City around here, around Chicago. I'm going to tell you that right now, especially during the summertime of 2023. It's a wrap. Ain't hardly anybody gonna come out of their house if you're gonna have these people going around just invading people's homes. It's damn near hard to even get a criminal out of your house in Chicago because you can't even kill someone if they come into your home and they have no weapon and they've decided that they want to kidnap. I'm not kidnap, that they want to steal things out of your house. You have to allow them to do it. You can't graze them. You can't put them in a position. You can't shoot them. You can't do anything. These people could come into your home. As long as they're not attempting to attack you, let them do what they do and let them run out. We have the most restrictive gun laws in this city. And a citizen can get put in jail 10 times easier than a fucking criminal. And they're out here doing the worst of the worst. So what you mean to tell me we're becoming a society where we're letting the lawless and the most sinful and the most wicked among us do whatever abusive tactics they have against us. I mean, God forbid if we defend ourselves, much less even try to reason with these people. But now the law, the system is making it okay, whether if you're black or white, indifference, for anybody that's sick in the head to go around and commit crimes against people. Screw your skin color. And that's what they're doing this for. They're saying, oh, because black people can't afford cash bail, but they're going around doing the crime. If you're doing the crime, you won't have to pay cash bail. Where is the common sense? Where is the common sense? Where is the compassion? Why are we making it easier for the criminals to do whatever they want and the people who are being victimized to become the victims? What kind of society is this? Now, it's been happening. It's been growing into this since the last decade, right? It's nothing new, but it's worrisome. You know, scripture says oppression makes a wise man mad. When you look at these things and you see what's happening around you, it's bound to anger you. It's bound to upset you. And what's worse is the very system that says that they're here to protect us, they're putting the criminals against us. So what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, and here's what you can take from me listening to this video. And sometimes in these situations like Piper Lewis's story, you have to do what you have to do. You have to raise hell. And you may have to be the one that has to that has to take the consequence. Because you're not going to lay down and just let anybody do anything to you, irregardless to how the law feels about your actions, right? Now, I understand some people are not fighters. I understand some people are not lawbreakers. And I'm not telling you to break the law. But what I am saying is that sometimes the consequence might be that the law may be infringed, even though you don't intend to break it with, the spiritual intent. But the reality is that if someone is trying to kill or destroy you, sometimes you got to be the destroyer too, so you can get them out of your hair. Because the law ain't trying to deter them. The people that are that are enforcing the law are not trying to deter them, because they keep getting bogarted for trying to be enforcers of the law. All because someone may feel offended about the fact that because they're black, they feel like you're going to do something to them. At the end of the day, it's just like, come on, what the fuck can anybody do? So now we're just going to let the demons run rampant. We're going to let them do what they want to do. So what the fuck is the point of living? She's supposed to get raped. She's supposed to be allowed to let that man do what he wants to do. Oh, just run away. How can she run away? Maybe him sleeping was the best way for her to do it. But instead, she felt in her mind, I got to survive. Otherwise, this guy's going to make me, he's going to make me into a human trafficking slave for the rest of my life. I have to do this. Sometimes it's going to require you for you to sometimes go against the grain, go against what the law is saying in order for you to be able to survive. Because if I was in her situation, I don't know. I may end up doing the same thing, and I'm not propagating violence. I'm not telling anybody to do anything that I would do. I'm telling you what Malik would do. I ain't telling you to do it. Because I swear if somebody is doing that to me, I'm going to jail. For real. I'm going to jail. It's the same way with the Uvalde shooting. Do you really expect me as a parent to just sit there while you go through protocol to try to get these kids out? We're just supposed to sit there. We're just supposed to sit here and wait for you to follow orders, and there's a shooter in there. No, I'm going in. No, I'm going in there. You can shoot me if you want to. Okay, yeah, my life is going to be gone. But so be it. My kid is about to lose. Is about to lose. My kid has no way to get out of that situation. He or she is in a heart-wrenching situation. There's a guy in there shooting up little kids. What the fuck are you doing sitting out here? It's time to go in. It's time to go in. I'm not speaking nothing specific to anybody. Some kids that were able to be released. Some kids were saved by the cops, but some weren't due to some false pretenses. I use all of that to say, in the situations where you all are so anchored by your rules and your protocols, something calls for action when there's sacrifices being made in order to allow the criminal to just keep killing in the name of your rules. Nobody in their right mind in these situations, and the system knows this, nobody in their right mind is going to always do the right thing, the so-called right thing, when they're being attacked or someone they love is being attacked and could potentially lose their life that day or that night. Nobody's going to think straight when it comes to situations like that. See, the system will easily deter a victim from committing a crime. It doesn't deter. It can deter a criminal too, but a criminal is going to do what a criminal wants to do. So you got to step in and either fight or lay down and die. And in these situations, you got to be able to just stand up and say, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not talking about in a BLM way. I'm talking about in a way where I've tried every option. I've tried the legal route. I've tried everything, but they're not working. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're making these judgments, and these judgments are not working in your favor. So now if the criminal is not doing the right thing, somebody got to lay that bastard down, because y'all ain't doing it. I mean, y'all giving people sentences like this. It's like y'all want people to feel defeated. You don't want people to win. You don't want people to live. You want them to feel fear of living. If they get put in situations like this, to be given 20 years and then on top of that have to pay restitution to somebody that raped them, that's insane. That's a crazy law. But apparently the law that they don't have safe harbor laws in Iowa. So it makes it, the criminal have immunity, some degree of immunity to do a crime. We got to do better. We got to do better. All right, I'll leave it right here. My name is Malik Washington. I hope you enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day or good evening wherever you are residing. I thank you for listening. If you got this far, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you like the content, if you liked my perspective. If not, I also appreciate you too. Comment as well if you have something you wish to say to me that you may agree and or disagree with. Love you all, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.